Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. It looks like the DCEU, Warner Brothers, is adding one more hero to the long line of basically unproduced DCEU films so far. Okay, so far we've heard about a lot of development with a lot of films, Green Lantern Corps and New Gods, and what else is there? Oh my God, I'm Deathstroke. I mean, a Batgirl. I mean, there are talks about it and articles have written about it. Let's add one more, and this can be kind of familiar. Okay, so Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle, Latino superhero movie, is in development at DC and Warner Brothers. As if you may have remembered a while back, they were gonna do a Booster Gold Blue Beetle kind of combo type movie, and then it became, I think it was going to be like a series or straight to DC streaming or something like that. And then now we're getting this. This is from The Wrap. Apparently, Mexican born writer Gareth Dune Alsos. I butchered that name, who wrote Universal Scarface, has been tapped to write the screenplay. Which is going to be Blue Beetle. And Zev Foreman is executive producing for Warner Brothers. So this is pretty big for the Latino crowd because this is going to be like the first Latino led superhero movie on the big screen, and it's from DC, Warner Brothers, which is pretty phenomenal and great and all that. It's this Mexican-American Teen Ranger Jaime Reyes is the third character to assume the mantle of the Blue Beetle after Dan Garrett and Ted Kord. I know Ted Kord, but I'm not really too familiar with Blue Beetle other than Ted Kord. So it's interesting. Created by Keith Giffen, John Rogers, and Cully Hammer. The character made his first appearance in the comics in 2006's Infinite Crisis #5, his own monthly series debut 2 months later with Blue Beetle #1 in May 2006. So if you know Blue Beetle, you probably see him. If you play Injustice, you know Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle kind of appeared in Smallville as well, from what I remember. Also Booster Gold. Blue Beetle is in a lot of different series. The Batman, the one with Batman and Green Arrow. That one, losing my mind. I don't know. I keep forgetting what that name is. But he appears in that as well, and so he's gonna have his own movie. And now, it's exciting to hear that they're making a new movie or thinking about making a new movie or tap to write and stuff like that. But we have a long list of films that are in that stage as well, like Nightwing and all these and all the other movies I was talking about. So I don't want to get too excited, but it is kind of interesting that they're going this route. And if it does really come to reality, that's a huge win for an actual Latino-based hero in the DC. And quite amazingly, they've really bringing out the diversity in the DCEU here, and I think that's great. That's pretty awesome, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that. But Blue Beetle, you think Booster Gold's going to be in there at all, or they're probably going to really concentrate on Blue Beetle? And how does that fit in this whole DCEU? How is that part of it? How does that connect, if at all? Are they really just bringing up these little pieces of these different heroes and saying we could do this, we could do that, but not really knowing how that fits into the bigger picture? That this is all very interesting, and it's surprising actually, because you're hearing about these second heroes, and I don't mean to belittle Blue Beetle. I'm saying it's not the Trinity, it's not Batman, it's not Superman. Of course, those are still kind of being worked on, which I hope to hear more about, because those are the major heroes. But it's nice to see these little other heroes are getting recognized. Blue Beetle, Supergirl, although Supergirl I think is a little bit higher. the Blue Beetle, but all these secondary or third-rate heroes are getting recognized and seemingly going to get their own films as well. At least Warner Brothers is thinking about working with them. So great on that for people who love Blue Beetle. I think it shows that there is growth in this universe, and hopefully they're confident enough to keep it growing. But it seems to be, because Aquaman is coming out, and seems people are watching Aquaman for the second time. I didn't get to watch it the first time, but they're watching it, and there's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of positive reactions. It's super fun. It's great, and something else. And I dig it. I can't wait to see it myself. The new international trailer dropped down, a Chinese trailer. And it shows a little bit more action, a lot more things. Two little cool things is what I recognize right away is when you see Aquaman in his suit, and he's calling out to the fish, and you see the rings. I mean, I could audibly out of my mouth say, whoa, 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 whoa. I could audibly hear that when you see that image, and maybe they have a little bit of that just to to bring us to the comics and back in the old, and yeah, I know it's the campy Justice League, but I think that's maybe their intention a little bit, and that's maybe what some of the bloggers saying that's campy, because they're reminded of the old Justice League cartoons, or Super Friends rather, and so that could be what they're referring to, while James Wan kept it a little bit more serious than that. But there is the part where Orm and Aquaman are ready to, careen into each other, charging at each other rather, and they're going and someone put that with the GIF of that with another GIF of Man of Steel, Superman himself doing that with Zod down the building, just like in Man of Steel. Also the part where Aquaman shoots up into through the water. It reminded me of Man of Steel when Henry Cavill Superman just shoots up in the first flight, and I recognize that right away, and I'm glad a lot of us DCU fans recognize that right away. So it's kind of cool, whether intentional or not, is a little bit almost like an homage to Man of Steel, and I can't wait to see that on the giant IMAX big screen. So it's great to see that happen. And it's great to see Aquaman getting positive reviews. Reactions so far. Reviews is coming up December 11th. I think that's the embargo lifts. And the box office opening weekend analysts are still saying like 100 million. But Warner Brothers has put out that they're expecting about a $65 million opening, which is huge for origin films per se. But I think they're playing it safe, and that's great, because if they came out and says it's going to be 150 or 100 million, and then when it comes out it's like 95, then you see how that media would spin that around and says, oh, it did less than what they expected, oh, it sucks, so I'm glad they're smart, and that's what other studios do, by the way, not just Warner Brothers. Marvel has done that as well. They lower the expectations so that when it does bust that, the headline seems much greater, like it's over 100 million, it broke records, not records, but it broke expectations, it surpassed, exceeded studio expectations. They like to do that. It plays it up, it makes it much more appealing in the media, so be wary of that. 65, that's huge. 100 million, even huger, but nothing the real possibilities nowadays of superhero films. I think it would have done more, because in that share, Bumblebee's going to take a chunk. Mary Poppins Returns going to take a chunk. So if they had all, like I said many times, if they had done their homework and released it in different parts of the week, then it would have been worked out for all studios. But I think it's cool that Aquaman is coming out globally in different dates, and which is good. It spreads it out a little bit, but America always talks about domestic box office opening weekends when, internationally, we're talking about international, and the worldwide total is so much more now than domestic box office weekends, but headlines always gets that domestic box office weekend. So be wary of that as well. It's being released elsewhere first. They're going to make money elsewhere before they make money here in the United States. And so, which is good for a lot of you guys who get to see it early right away. I envy you. All right, so that is it, pretty much it for the real news of DCEU. Now we're going to get into a little bit of tinfoil. If you do not like this section of the tinfoil edition, you may see yourself out now. But here we go. One, let's just go with the first one. Mario Robles. He heads over to Revenge of the Fan podcast, and he's known some scoopers here and there. I can't quite remember if he ever got anything right or not, but he said this. He tweeted this out. He said, "Psst, hearing whispers that hashtag DC will give us one last gift before the holiday break at the end of December. No idea what it is, big or small. Could be a trailer or an announcement. Regardless, they're going to throw us one more bone before the new year. Keep those eyes peeled." And so what people are wondering, well, what is that? I'm all hoping it's, the what. The cut we shall not name, because it might get bad luck if we name it so much. But it could be that, but a lot of people are, with the logic thrown in, sure, this can Shazam trailer, that's a possibility. A teaser for Wonder Woman 84, even though that kind of moved over into the next year from November 1st, 2019 to June of 2020. And by the way, since we're on the subject of Wonder Woman 1984, there is also something interesting about that. And that is that before Wonder Woman 84 delayed until the summer of 2020, when it was released in November, Adam Babato, from Film Exiles, recognized this in the IMDb. There's a lot of producers there. Zack Snyder is one of them, including Jeff Johns. Now, we know about Zack Snyder being producer of Wonder Woman 84. He even confirms it on Vero, says, "Oh, yes, I'm still the producer there." But what's interesting is that after the delay, all of a sudden, Jeff Johns is no longer the producer. He has turned to executive producer. And from what we know from executive producers don't have much say in the film. They don't have much say. It's like it's a credit. It's a nice credit to give to people who used to be involved in it or part of it, and they're no longer really part of it. Kind of like how Christopher Nolan was still executive producer of Batman v Superman, and he had nothing to do with Batman v Superman other than that. So he was more involved with producer in a producer role for Man of Steel, and then he jumped to executive producer because he was part of the same people who got Henry Cavill to be Superman and all that. So that's why they're this. So Jeff Johns moved to executive producer position, which is interesting. Notice Charles Roven, Deborah Snyder, Zack Snyder, still a producer. Because they're a producer and not an executive producer, it's possible they have more say in how Wonder Woman 84 is going to be. Which is interesting. And if you put your tinfoil hat on, it could be the changing of the landscape that Gal Gadot has been talking about after that whole change. They have 7 months. What are they going to do in that 7 months? Now, some people suggesting that November release has finally opened up. For what? Some people I won't name them because I don't want to get them ridiculed. I don't mind being ridiculed on this, as this is the Tinfoil Hat Edition. There is someone who told me, I don't know if he wanted me to, I didn't check with him first, but it said that they had an inside source from Warner Brothers stating the reason Wonder Woman 84 was moved from November 1st to June 5th is because Warner Brothers will release the Snyder Cut on November 1st, 2019. Warner Brothers didn't want to announce close to Aquaman movie. Look for the announcement to be made late January, early February with a July JL Snyder Cut trailer on Shazam movie. Now, I don't take any of these too I don't believe all sources. People have sources. They say they have sources. My mother's uncles, nephews, aunties, cousins, whatever. But so I don't know. But what he represents there is interesting in the fact that they moved Wonder Woman 84 out of the November. There is only one DC movie next year, and they're just opening it up. Is there going to be something in its place in November, or what's the reason why Wonder Woman 84 moved? That's the interesting part. And so there's going to be so many theories about that. I don't know if any of that's going to be true. It seems too good to be true to have them say that the Snyder Cut's going to be, it seems so like a dream. But if that's true, then man, that's crazy, and that's going to be pretty awesome. And they have the cool thing about these is that they have dates. They're saying this is going to happen, this is going to happen. We're just have to wait and see if any of this is BS. And if for people who are still listening to Lord Paulus, Cobri, he has come back, and he has come into my comments, and he says that if Darkseid will be coming for all the non-believers in the Unity. He said something in, I believe that's Spanish, and it translates to a surprise being prepared. It will be to enjoy the success of Aquaman, be attentive. And then he also goes on, I think lore, he says we will have higher hopes of seeing the Justice League Ultimate Edition. He calls it the Ultimate Edition with Aquaman's success. And so if Aquaman's successful, we'll have more chances to see that. So I'm really very, very intrigued to see what's going on, if that actually comes out, if that comes true. It's been forever, man. We've been going through all these different theories and things like that. There were dates, and well, not really, sort of dates. I guess Comic-Con was a date, and then theirs was like the end of October was a date, and November. I mean, it can go on and on forever. But what I recognize is that Snyder did release that Darkseid pick. He did say a bell can't be unrung. He's making turkey probably for Thanksgiving, but it could be saying he's cooking something. So I'm gonna keep waiting. I mean, he sounds like, and it feels like he doesn't want us to give up. He's trying to say, just hold on, be patient. A lot of people have said that, be patient. There's might be something coming up. And is it the surprise that Robles is talking about? Are we gonna get something at the end of this year regarding that, or is that for the DCEU or the Joker? Maybe they could even be a trailer for the Joker, perhaps. And Lord Paulus is coming back with that stuff. It's in conjunction with that, and whoever that other source is. So there is a lot to be had, a lot to be told here. All very interesting stuff, all much tinfoil. And the idea of de-Johnsing is interesting, considering that this person here, and he's been up on Twitter, Baskar Bulbul Ja, he has been saying that the Aquaman in the Aquaman with Jason Momoa's character is more in line with the Snyder Cut version of Aquaman than the newer one. So it's not, they haven't liked it. It's very much in line with that. And he says that his father's friend who works for Warner Bros. Had himself told us that multiple movies were shifted after Kevin's exit, which kind of happened true. That Snyder Cut was being seriously discussed by them, and that Walter actually wants original DCEU. Sounds familiar? I mean, it sounds like what Lord Pauls has been saying. This is somebody else entirely, unless they're the same person. He is a lot, Uncle. Walter sounds like a smart guy. Oh no, that's someone else. Ask him. And he says, yes, he is a lot. Uncle also said that Snyder movies been buzzing around in their works. He himself is a little optimistic. So that's what he has hinted at saying. He's apparently a guy who has relatives or friends who enable him to watch all these different screenings. And so he's talking about he's talking about how Aquaman and so there is something connected there. Aquaman's success equals Snyder Cut. Is that a possibility? And did they move Wonder Woman 84 to have that space open for a possible release or something regarding Snyder Cut? Having Zack Snyder saying what the dark side pick, is this something we're waiting for? Is it getting closer? Does it all come to Robles hinting that there's something coming at the end of this year? Whatever it is, I hope Christmas comes early with something of major news following this possible, and I think will be the success of Aquaman, that will get some kind of prize or a present regards to the Snyder Cut. But if anything, if none of this tinfoil stuff come true, I think we can look forward to possibly Shazam, the Joker, and then maybe more news about, I don't know, Batman, maybe that Superman movie we always wanted, confirmation that Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill are really still here. What else you want? I mean, there could be tons of other stuff. But I know most of you who watch my channel want to know more about the Snyder Cut. And so those are the whispers out there, if any of them are true. And as long as he put this on, logic cannot defeat us. They will try. But anyway, all right, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your hopes high, but expectations low. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.